Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesdays in the Shop. I am Andrea.
And I'm Jen.
And tonight we're going to talk to you about several things, actually. It's going to be a little hodgepodge. One of which is the new collections from Alison Glass and Giuce. I don't know if you've heard about these yet, but they are Alison and Giuce have worked together in the past. They've got a couple patterns out together, and I'm not sure what their relationship is, but it seems to be a good one because they come up with some good stuff. So we have Soliloquy, which I'm having trouble with that word, but I've been working on it. Don't ask me to spell it though. Soliloquy from Alison Glass and Scrawl from Giuce. And these are two text collections, which we love text prints here. And I'm trying to get these fanned out for you, which I would have done earlier. I don't know if I'll be able to actually hold them up, but this is Soliloquy. And let me show you one of my favorite. So this one is called, man, am I going to remember all these names? I'm pretty sure this one is called Enough. And this one is my favorite. I just love the way kind of the letters sort of fit together, and it's to create this all over print that isn't I mean, it is kind of linear, but it's more of an all over than a linear.
It's not going to look like messed up text.
Right, because almost all text prints are linear, as you can see in this one. This one is Path in Zebra. So there's Path in Zebra, which is a good black white, your standard text, and then also this one is Chalk. So this is a beautiful neutral that kind of, low volume. You could use this in so many things. You probably, yeah, there you go. Now you can see a little bit. So it's a white with a very faint off-white text print on top. Super usable. And then the three colors of Enough. And again, it's Alison and Giuce, who are so good with color. They just have this great color sense, and these colors they're very bright. So if you're into more muted colors, this might not be your collection, but there actually are some muted colors in here too. The beginnings are pretty bright. This one is called Typeset, so like an old-timey fancy font.
I really like that one. I think that one might be my favorite one.
Really? That one? Yeah, I'm not sure. That one, it's growing on me. This one is Sing Along. And this one's really nice because it is a music print, but it's not as like in your face music print. It is pretty linear, but that's hard to get away from in this case. Another one of my favorites is called Data. That would be these three.
Oh,
and
wait,
so this is like a moon, well, at least I think of it. I don't know if that's what it actually is, but like phases of the moon and then also days of the week. So like Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday are very subtly stuck in there too. And then we have Dwell. So now we're getting into more subtle colors. Dwell is not a text print, actually. It's kind of a landscape, but a really subtle landscape. And I love all these colors. This is just a really pale, it's called Blush, but it's practically a neutral. It is pink, but it's so light that you could use it as a neutral. And then this gorgeous magenta and this deep teal. I love a good teal.
Yeah.
And
Alison does such nice low volumes.
Yeah, and here is another example of some low volumes. This one, I'm drawing a blank on which one this one is. Does it say? It might say. In Ensemble. This one is Ensemble. So these are some nice, rich, deep colors. We've got a charcoal gray, a blue that's not really turquoise, but it's not a true blue either. And then your deep orange, which I love also. So that is Soliloquy. And then we have Scrawl as well. So Scrawl, again, is also text prints. And the first, oh, now I have to remember. This one is either Rant or Redacted. And I think this one is Redacted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we've got a nice gray, a nice kind of purpley pink, yellowy orange, and then this almost teal green.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. And then we have Punk, as in short for punctuation.
Oh wow. I haven't seen these ones. I think Soliloquy was at the shop when I was there without you.
Oh no, this one was here. Yeah, we got Soliloquy later. But if you didn't like actually look at it, you wouldn't see all this stuff.
Yeah.
And this one, so this one is kind of like, it's a lot of random typewriter, but then there is one phrase that says, all work and no sew makes me a dull boy, which I thought was really good. And you wouldn't even notice it unless, like, I mean, I've been looking at these for a couple days now, and it took me a while to notice it. That one, yeah, Punk, Punc, period. And then we have another, this one is just classic text, like in a script handwriting or cursive handwriting, a beautiful purple, a nice light blue, and a nice orange. This one is longhand, I believe. It's either longhand or quilty words, and I can't remember which. But the word, you can't really read the words, which is almost better. So you can use it in all kinds of formats and in all kinds of different kinds of things without worrying about like, oh, what does that say? And then this is my favorite of this group. This one is Deco Letters. And
nice.
this blue is just beautiful. Just this nice royal blue. And then this one is like a deep teal. It's a little bit of green. It's not gray like it might look on screen. And then we have like a burgundy kind of. But I love those letters. And then this one I believe is Rant. So this one does have text that you can kind of read, but then also the ink spots and the crosses out and the circles. I tried a little bit to read some, but it's silence falling into the ocean. It's nonsense, I think. But if you wanted to read it, you could, and it's not anything offensive or anything like that. But it makes me think of a scattered mind, kind of like in The Beautiful Mind. I know that movie is super old, but how like he takes over the chalkboard and is kind of crazy. That's kind of what makes me think of this, or makes me think of. And then let's see. Oh, and then this one is Quilty Words.
Yeah.
So this one.
There's a lot of nice blues in this these two
There really are. Honestly, it's a lot of nice colors of all the colors, and we're going to show you in a little bit. We'll show you all of them put together to give you an idea of the range of colors you're getting here. And on this one, we have the words here you can read: pattern, pin, weft, bind, thimble, piece, stash, make, quilt, needle, scant, textiles. So quilty words, as the name would imply. So those are, oh no, sorry, there's one more. This is actually from Giuce's Motley blender collection, but this is a new color that he snuck into, hopefully is that focusing, that he snuck into this collection. It's like a day glow, actually I think it's called day glow yellow, green, whichever one you want to go with. So that's the collection. Highlighter, yeah, Vet said it looks like a highlighter.
Yeah.
Which it definitely does. But when you put all these together, they go, I mean, they stand, each collection stands alone very nicely, but they go even better together. And if a vet could put up on the screen, so we're offering these as bundles, as we always do. You can get just Soliloquy and just Scrawl. You can get a combination of both. And then I also put together a warm and a cool bundle that mixes them. So there in the
Ooh.
center of your screen, you can see when they're mixed together, uh, you just get this beautiful range. And I can think of so many quilts that would just look gorgeous in like an ombre, across the quilt. And there you go. That's 20 fat quarters. You're ready to go. That's probably more than you would need for most of these quilts, but it's going to look good. It's going to be coordinated. Boom, done.
Stunning.
Um, yeah, so the cool does have a couple grays worked into it, and like one of the whites, but in general, it's, as you can see, blues and greens. Um, so this time we're actually also offering fat eighth bundles, which we don't normally do, but in this case, these are really good blender prints, and it's, you don't always need a lot of them. A small amount can be enough. They're really good for Giuce's mini series patterns. And if you haven't seen these, so these measure like 4 inches. And he has a series of 12. These are just 4 of them. But these colors would be great for some of these. And obviously you don't need a whole lot. So, and a fat eighth bundle is going to be enough for some of these things. And then there's going to be a sew along. Alison Glass has a new pattern coming out, or it might be both of them, I'm not sure. Has a new pattern coming out that's an alphabet, and she's going to be having a sew along to go along with that. And it has not been made public yet. Hopefully I'm allowed to mention it. I can't give you any details yet, but that will be announced very soon.
I think it's been in
So
her newsletter because
has it been?
yeah, I
Okay.
don't think that's a secret because I'm
Okay,
not
good.
surprised.
Okay, good. So I'm not spilling anybody's beans too early. So if you're interested in something like that, it's basically taking this concept and making letters, which seems really cool to me. I'm excited to see this. And these prints would be perfect for that. So keep that in mind. Stay tuned. Sign up for Alison Glass's mailing list if you're not already and you're interested in that. But yeah, so we have fat eighths, fat quarters, half yards, and full yard bundles of each collection on its own, both collections together, and a warm and a cool that mixes the collections. And I believe we're still offering a discount if you buy both collections together. Yes, so there is a discount if you get both. So that is, and then I forgot. I actually made a sample for this one too. So I took my favorite print, the deco letters, and because it's back to school coming up, a pencil pouch here. Well, not just pencils, but all kinds of things. So I made this cool zipper pouch. I used the deco letters on the outside and then on the inside. So check out this pouch. It has 3 pockets. There's 2 big here, and there's another zipper pocket inside. And then there's also little pockets in between the pockets. So 1, 2, 3. So you have 5 pockets. I used the longhand for the lining and for the center pocket here. But this bag is really cool. I've sewn a lot of zipper pouches, but this one was different than any other that I have sewn. And it was really cool. And this comes from the Stitched Sewing Organizers book. That is a great book. The pattern was written really well, I have to say. It was a complicated pattern that I am glad I did not have to write myself. But she did a great job of explaining it and illustrating it so that I could follow it and get this cool bag made. So that's from this book. We are also having a retreat in November that is using this book. So we're going to show you how to do zippers, how to sew with vinyl, using different interfacings and stabilizers, all of that good stuff. And it's a perfect time, since it's middle November, it's a perfect time to get some of your gifts out of the way. If you were planning on making anything, Jen is also showing off her sliding box.
Sliding boxing, yeah.
I think that was what that one was called, which is one that I would also like to make.
This is one of the
Yes,
most fun books I've ever used. I've done 2 of the things now, and every time I look at one of the things, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta do that one too." I don't have a lot of books that do that to me.
I agree. Yeah, I almost everything in it's like, oh, I could use that. I could do that. This is
Yeah,
also from the book, A Little Fabric Box. And you can always use stuff like this to organize your desk, your drawers, inside your bags, that kind of stuff. We all need things like this. So I think this is going to be a really fun retreat. It's going to, we're going to be able to get a lot done and excuse me, and have a lot of fun doing it. So that was just one example using our new soliloquy and scrawl fabrics, and had to slip in the talk about the retreat also. So that's coming up November 15th through the 17th. Please join us. We have such a good time when we do these retreats. So if you've never done one, join us, and we'll sew a bunch of bags and organizers.
yeah. And if you don't wanna sew the bags or organizers, you can just hang out. There's no requirement to perform.
That
Just
is also
spend
true.
spend the weekend with us and hang out. It's just so much fun to talk to people who are also quilters.
Yes. And it's a dedicated weekend to sew. Like, I rarely get a chance to sew. Usually, when we have these retreats, I try to send the kid off to grandma and grandpa's, and that's my weekend to just be in my sewing room and focus. So I don't know, a lot of us have other things going on in our lives, and we don't necessarily set aside the time to do things like sewing for ourselves, because we're always doing things for other people.
Right.
So that's another good aspect of it. Um, Someone asked if we're selling yardage of the individual prints in the collection, and absolutely, just like normal, you can buy as many yards as you want of any of the prints. Um, but the bundles allow you to get smaller pieces and get a wide range.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure there's, I could see getting large amounts of several of these to use for bigger projects.
Oh, yeah. Do you know, it just occurred to me, and I don't want to cause problems because I usually do like to drive the train off the track, but these would look great with the ephemera panels. Those 2
They
bundles,
would.
they would look amazing. I think we need a picture.
I
Yeah.
think most of Postmark would look good with these, because Alison Glass is one of those designers that tends to use a lot of either similar or the same colors across collections, which I think is really smart, because then it's a lot easier to mix them. These would also go with the Sunprint 2024.
Oh,
So
yeah.
scatter and woodland and camouflage, those are also going to fit in with these really well. So all of that is just a whole smorgasbord of rainbow blender fabrics. And then a couple novelties too, rainbows and things like that with Postmark. And the panel would be great to work in with these. It's such a cute panel.
Yeah.
What else am I supposed to talk about?
String Fling signups end this week, right? Here's
Yes,
the
they do. Oops, got to switch that one. There you go. So this is String Fling. This is our next block of the month. This is another one that was really fun to sew. And honestly, if we had had the soliloquy and scrawl collection, that
Ooh,
would have made my life a lot easier picking these fabrics. Um,
absolutely.
but that's okay. These are still fun
This
fabrics.
These are awesome fabrics, and there's some Alison in here too.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
And a lot of Giuce actually too.
Was there? Yeah, I like his stuff, but I'm not quite as much of a fangirl.
Yeah. But yeah, so there is definitely a lot of Alison and Giuce in there. So yeah, this is the String Fling. It starts in September, and signups close Thursday or Friday at the end of this week.
Yes,
So definitely Saturday.
Saturday.
Signups
Okay.
close on Saturday. So if you've been sitting on this and thinking about it for a while, now is your chance. It was so much fun to sew all those little strings together. I really liked doing that. It's like a low stress, like, okay, I'm just gonna sew a bunch of greens
Yeah.
and just
And
go.
we're gonna have kind of on-demand video content classes for the different aspects of the quilt that are a little bit more complicated, like the Y seams and the getting the 8-pointed star to come together and things like that. Like there's going to be educational components in there too. so
Yes.
that if there's any kind of hesitation, I will be there to hold your hand. And if you have questions, I will answer them
Yes. And
with
she
more
is very good at that. Yeah. So, if it feels intimidating, but you're ready to give it a shot, go for it because you will have help.
yeah,
So
but it is.
don't be too intimidated by it. But also don't wait too long to sign up because you only have until Saturday. And I know I've been just kind of running through. Oh, it is a very large quilt. What size is it
I think it
again?
was 84 inches square.
Was that all?
I
I thought it was bigger. I mean, that's still pretty big.
let's see. I think that's what it is. Let's hang on. I have the information somewhere.
Yeah, I have it here somewhere. You'd think we would 84. Yes, Yvette has come to the rescue. It is 84 inches square, so that's a full queen size. So you could definitely put that on your bed or hang it on a wall. I think it would be just as lovely hung
It's
on a
way
wall.
too big for my son to hold up for me. That was the
Yeah, that would be because that's 7 feet ish.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be hard to hold
And I think he's tall, but he's only tall relative to my height.
to you.
And I'm fun size, so
Yeah, I'd like fun size. That's a good way to put it. Let's see. We also have this is the last week of August somehow. So next week it will be the first Wednesday of the month, which is a thread talk.
yeah.
So why don't you tell us about that, Jen?
So we have Sherry Cifaldi Morris, and I think it's Cifaldi. There's a lot of letters, and I'm never 100% sure. Um, and she's from Whole Circle Studios, and she does a lot of foundation paper piecing. And she is going to talk about content, concepts, and quilts, approaching quilting as a graphic designer. And if you've seen Sherry's quilts, they are different. And
Yeah.
when you see one, she's kind of like Tara Fawn. And when you see one of her quilts, you know that Sherry did it. Like it's not,
Mhm.
they don't look like other people's stuff.
Yeah.
So very cool. And I'm really looking forward to seeing her, but listen to her.
I always like listening to people talk about design process and how they come up with things. This is one of my favorite quilts, this bee.
Yeah. So the color is so simple, but it's so impactful.
And that in the foundation paper piecing, you're gonna get those points to match. It's gonna
Yeah.
look good. Your stripes are gonna come out correct.
Yeah. Yeah, she does such cool stuff. She had a really cool thing at QuiltCon. She had pictures of all of her students' work or customers' quilts.
That's right.
That was
Yeah.
so cool. That little carousel she had.
Yeah, that was really cool. She taught at the store at one point too, way back when. And that went really well too. She's a good teacher. I think her talk is going to be excellent. We have a couple questions about string fling. The first one is it hand applique or machine applique? The choice is yours.
Yeah.
Which way is the pattern written?
The pattern's written for machine applique, but we can certainly talk about how to do it by hand if you prefer that. So, and it's written for fusible. Um, I don't like fusible, so I didn't use it. So you can do it however you want. It's
Yes. We're all about options here
yeah,
and making things the way you want to make them. And so we're going to facilitate you being able to do that. I when I do applique the few times, it's always with fusible and then stitch around and I'm done. I don't mess around with needle turn or any of that kind of stuff. But you can make it as simple and basic, or you could do it by hand, needle turn. That's totally up to you and what you're up for.
and if you really want to lean into doing it a more complicated way, we're going to be friends.
Absolutely, yes. We love complicated
I would
things.
love to make it more difficult. That would be great. That's my
Yeah,
superpower.
that's the problem with the two of us. We're often coming up with very complicated things, and then we have to realize, oh wait, this is
Yeah,
for normal people. We have to make it more simple.
Yvette's shaking her head yes, because she'll say, "Isn't 300,000 2-inch triangles too much?" And we're both like, "You know what? You're right. How about we do 1-inch half square triangles? That would be better." And we need 4,000 now.
Yeah.
So
Yvette does have a good point, though. It's important for her to remind us of those things because we forget.
right.
We also have a question about add-ons for the
Oh, yeah.
retreat. So
I was shaking my head no. That whole
and we
No,
could see it
no.
in our eyes.
no.
But Jen and I are up for that. So we have another question about add-ons for the retreat. So there are things like Peltex, vinyl, but fusible interfacing. Um, those things are so that you can make more of the projects in the book. We are
So
actually going to send you, so if you sign up for the retreat, you're going to get the book and then also a little goodie bag with some of the materials you'll need to make some of the things in the book. So we'll send you enough of the Peltex is the interfacing that's used to make these boxes. We'll send you enough so that you can make one of these boxes. A piece of vinyl so that you can do one of the zipper pouches with vinyl. But those will just so to get you started, basically. So if you wanted to purchase extra materials to make more, that's what the add-ons are for. And you'll
yeah.
be you'll still be able to do that later. But if if you're I need to make um, 9 vinyl pouches for all of my grandkids. I'm just going to order the vinyl now, and then I know I'll have it, and I can make as many as I need.
And we will be putting up a list of projects and materials that are required. So because you won't get the book all that much beforehand, but you'll be able to look and decide which things you want to make if you want to make them and get the materials before the retreat. We will make that possible for you.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So let's see, what else do we have? The add-ons for the retreat. Yes. They're all used in the patterns in the book. So that was one of the answers there. So yes, but there are things that you probably don't already have. I mean, we all have fabric at home. We can make the drawstring pouch. That's easy. But I mean, I didn't have Peltex at home. I do actually have vinyl at home, but most people don't have clear vinyl at home.
I don't have
Um,
vinyl, but I do have a bolt of Peltex, and I figured it out. I went through a postcard phase.
yeah, I've gotten a couple of your postcards. It's always a joy to get one of those in the mail. So that's another thing. If you have some Peltex left over, which actually I have a bunch of pieces left over that were too small to make boxes out of, I can make some postcards.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so as you can tell, we're pretty excited about this retreat and making these projects. I've already made 3 of the projects from the book. I know you've made at least 2.
I've made 2, and now I'm like upset that you're ahead of me. So I'll have to spend some time on that.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna have a feud going here. Who can make the most? Um, if anyone else has questions, you can go ahead and put them in the comments, or you can always send us an email at info@gothamquilts. There's a couple others, but anytime you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Just want to go back to talking about the thread talk really quick, though. We kind of cut that a little bit short. So Sherry Cifaldi Morris, right?
Yeah.
So that is coming up next week, and she is an excellent pattern designer and teacher. And the talk itself is $25, but if you are a member of Club Gotham, you get to go to all of the thread talks for free.
But
So
you do have to register to get the
you do
link.
still have to register, correct, so that we can send you the link. But once you put it, if you're in Club Gotham and you're in our website signed into your account, once you put it in your cart, it will show $0. So Club Gotham is 125, and each thread talk is $25. So if you go to 5 talks, you've paid for Club Gotham. And then in addition, you get discounts on fabric, you get early notification of sales, and a lower free shipping threshold. There's lots of benefits to it, but honestly, the thread talks alone are worth it. So if you think you might want to go to 5 or think some are interesting, just go ahead and sign up and then register for all of them.
Yeah, and we have really good ones coming up too, even after Sherry. Like
Mhm.
I was very excited this season. We have Cassandra Beaver and Tina Craig and Steph Scardle and
Yeah, Jen does all the booking for that, and she's been doing a great job. There's been some really good speakers.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's my favorite. It's my baby.
That's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen any more questions. But yeah, like I said, if you have a question about String Fling, questions about the retreat, questions about soliloquy and scrawl, or anything else, just reach out and let us know, and we will be happy to help. So one last QR code there on the screen for soliloquy and scrawl. So you can go to the website, check out all the different prints, and buy some bundles, or just buy some yardage.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that wraps it up. We had a whole bunch. I just threw a lot of information at you. Hopefully you were able to follow it all. And yeah, next week we have something interesting too. We actually know what we're going to do for once. So that one's going to be a good one too. So make sure to come back next week, and we'll see you then to show you some more cool stuff. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you later.
Bye.